For decades, tales of a secret space program lived on message boards and late-night radio. In 2023, the topic moved into the realm of serious legislative oversight when a career intelligence officer addressed the United States Congress. David Grusch testified under oath, alleging that the United States government and private aerospace corporations operate unacknowledged multi-decade programs dedicated to the recovery and reverse engineering of non-human craft. Assessing these extraordinary claims requires an analysis of the secret space program as two distinct parallel tracks. Track 1 is the historical record, the documented infrastructure of classified military aerospace operations. Track 2 is the mythology, the expansive lore that rushes in to fill the information vacuum created by those very same black budgets. The analytical tension relies on tracing where these two tracks historically diverge and where, right now, they are actively colliding. The verifiable military space program began at the dawn of orbital exploration, driven by the strategic ambitions of the United States Army. This is declassified text from a 1959 study titled Project Horizon. It detailed the feasibility of constructing a permanent nuclear-powered military outpost on the Moon to be operational by December 1966. This table from Figure 1 details the vehicle requirements and launch schedule designed to build that base. The study team estimated that 75 Saturn II rockets would be needed for the initial construction, followed by 64 annual Saturn launches for logistics. While Project Horizon never proceeded past the study phase, it established the foundational philosophy for covert orbital infrastructure. That momentum transitioned to the Air Force in 1963 with the Manned Orbiting Laboratory, or MOL. Publicly described as a scientific station, its actual classified mission was Project Dorian. Project Dorian used a modified Gemini B capsule to place a crude, high-resolution surveillance satellite into orbit. Its objective was to photograph the Soviet Union with a resolution superior to any unmanned system available at the time. Together, Project Horizon and MLL created the operational blueprint, highly visible civilian exploration, masking deeply classified military operations. Hiding a massively funded space program from public scrutiny requires a rigid administrative split. The white budget, managed by the Air Force, handled public relations and baseline engineering. The black budget, controlled by the National Reconnaissance Office, managed covert missions like Project Dorian, covering advanced cameras and classified payloads. This operational compartmentalization legally obscures technological capabilities. It ensures that personnel building the rockets may have zero access to the actual mission data, hiding the true scope of a project from within the government itself. The result of this system is an institutional blind spot, an information vacuum that prevents civilian oversight and breeds public mystery. As technology advanced, this clandestine architecture transitioned from crewed outposts to uncrewed autonomous platforms. This is the Boeing X-37B, an autonomous spaceplane operated jointly by the United States Space Force and the Air Force Rapid Capabilities Office. The X-37B possesses extraordinary endurance, routinely executing classified orbital missions that keep the craft in space for well over 700 days at a time. While the launch of the craft is highly public, its specific maneuvers, its payloads, and its ultimate objectives remain absolute secrets. The X-37B is the modern evolution of the MOL legacy, a physical, highly advanced reality defined entirely by its missing data. This brings us to the second track of the phenomenon. Expansive mythology takes root wherever an information vacuum exists. Within the folklore of anomalous phenomena, narratives claim the existence of a U.S. Navy-led fleet called Solar Warden. These stories describe an interplanetary presence patrolling the edges of the solar system. While institutional analysts dismiss these narratives as modern folklore, they are occasionally punctuated by actual data anomalies. Between 2001 and 2002, British Systems Administrator Gary McKinnon breached heavily secured United States military and NASA networks. McKinnon claimed he found an internal Excel spreadsheet titled Non-Terrestrial Officers, which listed names and ranks of personnel that appeared in no standard military registry. He also reported finding logs detailing material transfers between ships that matched no known terrestrial vessels. Authorities suggest these were likely placeholders for future astronaut roles. But for researchers of the anomalous, the raw data provided the evidence they sought. Regardless of their true mundane nature, these verifiable data fragments provided the scaffolding for a cultural belief in an unacknowledged space navy. For decades, the rigorous military reality and the anomalous cultural mythology remained strictly segregated. Grusch's congressional testimony forced a sudden structural convergence of the verified military track and the anomalous mythology track. David Grusch served as a career intelligence officer with a professional history rooted in the National Reconnaissance Office. When an official from the exact agency that managed the classified Dorian project alleges the reverse engineering of non-human craft, the barrier between black budgets and UFO lore collapses. The secret space program is either a highly terrestrial arms race hidden by extreme compartmentalization, or it is the slow, managed disclosure of a non-terrestrial presence. Conclusively, the boundary between advanced human aerospace engineering and profound anomaly remains heavily obscured within the intelligence community's black budget architecture.